Ederson Oliveira here, and this is our monthly chat. Well, we skipped last month, but it's good to be back. It's good to have you, Joe, Scott, back. How's everything, Joe?
Everything's wonderful. The sun is shining.
Great, great, Scott.
Besides being sick this week, I'm doing all right.
Very good, very good. So I guess let's get straight to the point here, and let's talk a little bit about the DNN Summit. I think I will do most of this chat about the DNN Summit. There's still some things beyond that, but let's talk a little bit about the DNN Summit. First of all, I'd like to ask you guys, tell me two or three highlights from the event. Scott, let's start with you. Tell me a little bit.
Highlights. Well, I mean, my trading class went well, so I enjoyed that. One of the sessions I got to go to was John Shealy, where he's talking about JavaScript, especially using new TypeScript for React and bundling using Gulp. That was key to learn about that because that's the part that I was missing, I think, from my persona bar module that I developed. And so I'm definitely going to use his teaching and to shore that up.
Perfect. Joe, give me two or three highlights. I mean, the high points of the event for you.
Well, I think the highlights were called Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We had a hackathon on Wednesday, and I think ahead of time I thought maybe if we got 10 to 15 people to show up for that, it would be a success. And I think the number was more like 35. That was Wednesday. Thursday for training, I think everything I've heard about training from all of the classes was terrific. I myself sat in on the business roundtable on Thursday afternoon, and I thought that was just super. It was the first thing I'd been in where there was a lot of really good interaction amongst people.
Joe, let me stop. Let's stop right there. Let me ask you this, because I tried to get some information from Don, and I could not extract much from him. But what was the outcome of that meeting? Give me the short version of that. What was one of the key things from that business roundtable?
Oh, I think the key thing was just a lot of interaction on probably 10 to 12 topics that kind of fell around using DNN in a business environment. But there a lot of people got to talk, ask questions, answer questions. Ash Prasad from DNN Corp was there, and I think at one point everybody jumped on him in a very constructive way. And then what can I say about Friday? I thought certainly one of the high points was the keynote address by Scott Hanselman. I'd read his bio in kind of the last sentence and said, and part-time stand-up comedian or something like that. Very polished delivery with a lot of meaty content, and I thought with the kind of humor that I enjoyed. And
let me ask you about that, Joe. On the homepage of dnnsummit.org, we have the streaming, the recorded streams. Some of the streams were not recorded properly. Do we have the recording of, for instance, do we have the recording of that keynote?
I actually don't know the answer to that question.
I'm just glad that my Unite is there, so I'm happy, you know.
Yeah, and I guess I should say that at least one of the Ignite sessions was just over the top good.
Good. So tell that to Ryan, please.
No, not Ryan.
Okay, we didn't have too many there. Okay, come on.
Fortunately, the guy did not bring out mechanical timers this time.
Not this time. Not this time. But let me tell a little bit about my highlights. I mean, the highlights that I think that were great. Location. I think it was awesome. I'm a city guy, so I really like the fact that we were in the heart of Denver. So very good location. Love the hotel. Love the view from my room. I mean, I could see the snowy mountains just out of my room. So it was awesome. Second one, the mobile app. David is not paying me for that, but the mobile app, I really like the mobile app. That's a big. I think that's one of the. I don't know. I really love the app. You know, the easy of use and the fact that all the information was just right there, and I could just browse through the app. So I really like that. I hope that we continue to have those apps for future events as well, and they'll get better. But again, I really like the mobile app for the events. What else? I also enjoyed the vendors meeting because there was a very small vendors meeting. It was with a few members of the DNN store and DNN Corp as well. So it was a good talk. It was maybe 45 minutes conversation with Will Morganweg, and Joe was sick, but listening to everything that was going on the far. So it was a great talk, and I think that the key points from that conversation was that there is some commitments between community and the vendors and DNN Corp to enhance the DNN store experience, because it has been in a way left out there for a little while. So there is a commitment there to enhance the DNN store experience, and as a second point, to give more visibility in the DNN software website to the platform, to the DNN platform. Because come on, if we go to the DNNsoftware.com right now, we don't see the DNN platform being promoted, at all, or too much. I mean, you may find a page, but that's about it. So there is a commitment as well to start promoting and differentiating what is commercial from what is community, or what is the platform in the DNN software website, maybe with the use of colors. But this was the start of the conversation. So let's see how things will progress. I think it's good to be talking, and let's see if there will be results out of that.
Yeah, one other thing to say is we had a decent international contingent of people at the event. We had people from as far away as Canada. We had gentlemen from Australia, a bunch of Europeans, South America. Had a fellow from Argentina, Horatio, who is no stranger to DNN Con, DNN Summit, Day of DNN event. So it was terrific in that way.
Perfect.
So,
Joe, if I may ask,
and it was I think, at least in terms of recent history, a record-setting attendance too. We had about.
And the great thing is that it was a paid event, which was slightly different from the previous one. So it's interesting to see, now the event being charged and we got more people. Maybe people got more interested because, hey, this is now paid and it should be taken more seriously,
Well, one of the things is that when you have a free event, a lot of people sign up and don't show up.
Got it.
So we had, I think, very little attrition in terms of people who had signed up to attend and paid for the event.
Got it. I just want to ask Joe, do you have any news from the slopes? Because I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about that. So is there a short version of the slopes? Do you know anything about it?
Well, I had planned on attending, but I had a change of plans, and needed to be back early in the week, so I didn't go. But I saw lots of pictures on Twitter, and that included a live performance of the DNN Yeti song by Ron Miles in front of a roaring fire, as opposed to what he recorded in his room.
Great. Okay. So great. We had these loops. Now, just want to mention quickly that two pieces of information I got out of the sessions. And this is more from a marketing standpoint instead of a very technical DNN-oriented standpoint. But I want to highlight those. Is the fact that a few presenters mentioned about Google AMP, Google AMP, which stands for Accelerated Mobile Project or Platform.
Pages, right?
Pages. Yes, and in short, it'll give us more work, but we might have eventually to provide some very streamlined and bare bones site structure to Google, so they can serve them during mobile searches. So it's an interesting new thing that we may have to do as website owners, as website service providers, is potentially you have to start providing a bare bones version of websites so they can be fed to Google AMP, and that may become eventually a criteria for Google, one of the, I don't know, hundreds of criteria for Google to rank your website. So pay attention to that. Google AMP, it's one, and actually I have the link here, I have the page open. And also the fact that we should now all be moving to a place where all websites should be HTTPS. Everything should be secure, and Google will start to penalize if people don't go that route, and I will have to do that on my own websites as well. So two things that I wanted to mention, I heard, because I focused more on the marketing sessions instead of the techie sessions. That's about it for me. Anything else for the event itself? I mean, anything else, or I'm just crazy to use this right here? So can I erase this? Are we done here?
Sure, but let me just say, you mentioned the mobile app.
Yes.
And not only was it good, but I think for a first attempt, it was really, really good. And the fact that he was using microservices to pull content from the DNN Summit website to display on the mobile app, I think he learned a lot in doing that about what worked and what didn't work. So yeah, I look forward to seeing a next iteration of a mobile app like that. And we may in the future have registration and some other things. The one other thing I want to mention was that we had a series of surveys about individual sessions and also about the event. Those of you who are listening, please go back if you didn't do it and fill out the survey about the event. And we're particularly interested in your comments about how we should put the next DNN Summit on.
And I hope, Joe, you as a member of the organizing team, which I want to thank very much, and I want to do that in a second. I just hope that you guys, trickle down the results of feedback from our sessions, Scott's sessions, my session, and all other speaker and presenter sessions. I hope that trickles down to us as well, and let us know how we did it. Let us know, anonymously how the feedback went, and how we can improve that.
Yeah, Mitchell Sellers, who was the cat herder for the speakers, is hard at work on getting that information parsed out by session and anonymizing the data before it gets to you. And also for speakers, If we haven't got your slides yet, send them to us. You know the address. We'll get them up on the website so people who are clamoring for those slides will get them.
Good. Okay, so
Now,
I'm done.
Now you can use the eraser. Yeah.
I'm done with the events. Come on, help me out here. I'll finish that later, but man, let me tell you, it's good to put. I love the events. I love the event. I love to get ready, but it takes a lot of effort, and because of that, I really want to highlight the organizers here, how much effort they put into this. You know, Cassidy showed how many hours in total they have. You guys, I mean, you Joe, you're there as well. Scott, you did your session as well. I mean, just by doing my training course, I mean, it took me a lot of time. I can only imagine how much time you guys had to invest and organize that. I mean, I don't envy that. I'm not sure if I'm up to something like that, to be honest with you. So I just want to give great kudos to the 8 people that were organizing the whole event. I'll not go through the names because I will forget someone. But again, just great kudos to the team that put the event together, and I hope that it was not that tough that they will not put together another one in the future, you know. But again, that's just my thank you, all 8 of you, and the presenters as well for doing that. With that said, go ahead, Joe.
And the 8 had people scurrying around in the background, so it was probably closer to 15 or so when you actually get down to the number of people who did things directly in support of the event.
I get it, and I love the fact that Cassidy, but you know how much it was, gathered from sponsors, from selling, the event, and how much the event cost to run. So it was, I mean, that helped whoever is outside to have a sneak peek on how things were operated there. Okay, done here, moving on. Let's talk a little bit about DNN 901, which was recently released. Actually, I had a chance to install it yesterday, and I'm going to bring it up. The first thing that we will notice is that it's minor, it's cosmetic, but it's a change nonetheless. It's the fact that the persona bar now has icons instead of text, instead of text descriptions. So that's one of the things. There is also a security bulletin that has been released showing what was fixed in terms of security for this release. So again, release is 901 and it's fresh out of the oven. What else about that release?
Those persona bar icons are actually important because our language, people that run in different languages, it was almost unusable where there was actual text on the menu, and when you translated it, the menu would look really off. So those icons were mainly for localization.
Got it.
So I'm sure that was mostly the European guys are going to be happy about this release.
Perfect. Actually, Scott, I want to back a little bit here. I don't know if you have anything to mention on that, but remember Scott's Hanselman small talk on that small table about DNN. Is there anything that you want to mention there? I mean, again, feel free. If you don't, that's fine. But do you have anything there?
A lot of the conversation was talking about Docker, and I don't know if many of our users have any experience with it. I know I don't. And what Scott showed on his talk was running DNN in Docker. That was really the only part of his keynote that related to DNN at all. Most of it was just really funny and witty stuff about Microsoft and JavaScript. But one mention was that he was talking with Ash about a clean build. I'm not sure what the deal was with that, but obviously that's going to be fixed, whatever that was. Most likely it was maybe a solution issue because I know the persona bar solution was separate from the DNN platform, and I think they brought it together. I need to go back and look at the code and see about that. But yeah, he was able to run it inside Docker. And Docker, do you guys know what Docker is?
I just from what he mentioned there, I have not heard before.
Yeah, I've read a little bit about it. It's basically like a virtual machine, only it's a more lighter weight version. They call it a container, an application container. So, with a virtual machine, it's basically a conceptual a machine, right? You could remote into it. It's got the operating system. It's got whatever applications you want installed on it. And it's basically just like a virtualized operating system. Whereas a container or a Docker container doesn't have that. It has the OS kernel, but it doesn't have what they call the guest OS. So there's no way you can remote into a container, right? You have to basically build these containers with a configuration file. And that's what also the number two thing about Docker is they're portable. In other words, if I had a Docker, I forget what they call them, a Docker file or a Docker configuration, I could hand it to you and you could run it and it might create a container with a SQL server and IIS and a DNN instance in it, and I could just hand it to you.
Got it.
So yeah, interesting. It's a lighter weight virtual machine, and that they're calling containers, that they think is going to be maybe a future of cloud computing versus Hyper-V or hypervisor type setups.
Okay. So just wanted to make that side note because I remember we mentioned a little bit about that. So coming back here to DNN 901. Just want to leave, before I move on to another topic, just want to leave you guys with a DNN9 cheat sheet, which is, in a way, similar to what DNN Core put together, mapping out where things were on DNN 8 and where things are now on DNN 9. I didn't know that DNN Corp had done one, so
yeah,
I
told you about that.
What's that?
I remember I told you about that. I didn't know if you saw it or you were able to find it in the admin docs.
Now, I went to the admin docs and I could not, for the life of me, I couldn't find that there. So I said, you know what? Let me show my cheat sheet, which the links will be posted in the video post. That's mine. Okay. And at some point, I will find the one from.
I have it. I've seen it before. I'll try to find it again and send it to you. But it's in the admin docs somewhere.
Please do so. But one extra thing that I added to my list, which I don't think that they have on theirs, is what is accessible to administrators and what is accessible to super users only. I put that in my grid. So again, you can use theirs, and I will have their link here somewhere, and you can use our desktop cheat sheet. That's about it. One thing that I want to quickly mention is also the fact that they have removed quite a few features from DNN 8 admin, most likely features that were no longer relevant. So just be mindful that maybe if you don't see something there on DNN 9, maybe they are still thinking and talking through whether or not they should add. I'll give an example. I spoke with Ash and he says that they're still debating whether or not they should be keeping the Google Analytics module there because it's not on DNN 9. It's not there. So they are still debating whether or not they should keep that in or not. So just wanted to make this quick note. By the way, for the life of me, I swear that DNN, it used to have, but I couldn't find that anymore. Is there a place where you can remove the DNN credits from the source code, from the view source of DNN? For the life of me, I could not find the checkbox anymore. It seems that this is gone, and the credits comments on the header side of a DNN site, it's there for good. I mean, have you guys tried to deactivate that anyhow? Just quickly.
Was that an admin setting?
It used to be under host.
Oh, host setting. Okay.
Appearance.
I think it was a checkbox. I think that include copyright credits or remove copyright credits. And just to go back to DNN Summit, that's item number 1 on Nick Spiller's list of things to do.
Got it. Joe, your voice just got very lower, so I'm not sure what's going on. But while you get it fixed, we can keep moving forward here. So yes, I could not find it anymore. It seems that maybe, hey, they should bring it back.
I'm sure it's in the database. If you go under the host settings table, you could probably find it.
I guess so.
But yeah, again, why would the UI not be there? I don't know.
And but there are lots of little things like that with DNN. You know that there's no UI, but then you can go to the database. In any case, that's about it. 901. Moving on here, I want to mention about an interesting meeting that I had during the DNN Summit. I met Kelly Ford. Kelly Ford is the guy behind Xmod Pro and DNN Dev, and I'm just gonna open up his website. And he showed me there during the DNN Summit something very interesting, something called Prompt. Prompt is an admin tool for DNN administrators, but more the techie ones, not so much for the DNN admin people that maybe they are administering one site or many sites. And it's interesting if you like to use command line. Actually, it is a command line tool that you can apply, that you can use on DNN. It's a right now, you know, I'll flip to that here. Let me see if I can find that quickly. Settings. Yeah, it's called prompts. So it is a prompt, and you can just type in some comments. And I'm gonna just demo quickly here. Just, you know, I just typed in help, and it lists all the comments. And I could do something like, you know, list all the pages on my website. So I think it's called list pages. I can just type in, it shows me the list of pages in a command line type of interface. Let's say list users. It's showing just one user. So it's a different way to admin a website. And what he's proposing is to make this open source and to have it, whoever wants to use this tool will be able to use. Now, most likely he will enhance that with some other features, but that's about it. There's no place right now to download the tool. He is still tidying up certain aspects of it, so he's still not releasing it openly, but that's about it. So if you are an admin user of DNN and likes doing command lines like PowerShell, or you know, even the Windows command prompt or some other command lines type of tools, this is an interesting tool for you. You can there are hyperlinks, and you can click on hyperlinks when you list things. You can get more details of a page. You can actually create users. You can create pages. So it's an interesting tool. Let's see how things will unfold. A few people were introduced to this tool during the DNN Summit, like Peter Donker and some other members of the community, Brian Dukes as well. So let's see how.
I actually got to see it when I went to Peter Donker's session. I think he liked it so much that he used it during a session I think he used it to install a module. I think there was a command line for installing a new module, and it's a lot quicker than going to the UI and doing that. You
can install modules, you can clear the cache, you can go to a page, and then you have to specify the page ID. I think I told that to Kelly. I think that for an admin, this can become an addictive tool, you know, a tool that, hey, all my DNN websites should have this tool, you know.
And I can also see them extending it into like having a batch script where you can execute commands like PowerShell. You know, you can see where that's going.
God knows how many things this can potentially have. And Kelly even mentioned to me that the fact that you could potentially be administering a site from another site. So again, you can use one single command prompt to admin multiple sites. You can create pages. Again, it's a very interesting tool. I'm really looking forward to install that on my sites so I can start trying it and maybe, hey, become addicted to it, because I really like shortcuts. I really like command line, and I like it. I like where Kelly is taking this. Let's see how things unfold. Kelly, best of success for your tool. Let me know when it's ready for showtime, for prime time, so I can install on my sites as well. Okay, that's about it. Let's see here. Coming to an end, but still have a... Don't want to go too long anymore, but there's one post from Joe Brickman where he actually recorded a video doing a demo of how you can create a module injection filter, which in a way it's one extension that you can say, hey, based on those conditions, maybe hide or show certain modules. And the example that he gave is that if a module is tagged with and I don't recall exactly the term that he used, but if a module is tagged with no show, let's say, just for example, with a tag as no show, don't show that module on the UI, you know. So you can do some very creative stuff by following this. It's a quick video. It's about a 10 minutes video, but a very interesting aspect of DNN that I didn't know. I wasn't aware that you could do this that easily. It was very easy when you see what he did there. It was very simple.
And did he say that's been there since 6?
He was telling that it's not 6 though. I think it's 7 something. You know?
7 something. Okay, yeah. I was surprised it's been there so long. I never knew about it, but I watched that video too. Yeah.
You did? Okay. So yeah. So it's and I hope that he keeps recording those little quick videos just to uncover and make some of those hidden features of DNN, bring them to the surface. You know. So it was quite interesting. I really like that. Don't do too many videos, Joe. Though you know. I mean. We have a competing agreement. Not really, we don't have. Okay.
You'll have to hire him.
I have to hire, yes, we have to hire him. So, yeah, many other blog posts, but I'm not going to comment about them. It's a lot about Persona Bar, a lot of posts about Too Sexy content, which, by the way, I want to give it a good try this year. I think that's, yeah, I want to get to know Too Sexy content a little bit better. Moving on here. We stop one event and then another one gets started. I'm just gonna mention about DNN Connect 2017 in Girona, Spain, from the 25th to the 28th of May. There is an email that was sent out and the registration will be opening in February. I'm gonna link this up as well. This is the actual newsletter that was sent to, I think that to whoever was subscribed. They are calling for speakers. They are calling for sponsorship as well. And as we go along, we'll talk more and more about this. But one of the main organizers, Peter Donker, was on DNN Summit as well. And yeah, another conference here coming up in May. Let's wrap this up. And I always want to finish our talks with this. Joe, anything interesting that you are working on, that is going on? I mean, tell me, any project interesting that you think it's worth mentioning? If not, that's fine. If you have something, please let us know.
Nothing.
Okay, good. Scott.
Just finishing up that Persona Bar extension for that restaurant menu. I think a lot of users will be really interested in having a working demo that's more than just a hello world for a Persona Bar extension. So yeah, interested in finishing that up, but it's on my GitHub page. It's GitHub/.NET Nuclear.
Very good, very good. Okay, my side, we have worked on quite an interesting customization lately for DNN. It's an integration between DNN and Vimeo. Vimeo is the hosting, video hosting website, Vimeo.com. So I have it open in front of me. So we did integration with DNN and Vimeo to bring, Vimeo via its APIs to bring the list of videos from a certain account. So it's quite an interesting project, which also involves a video player, which we are using a video player called Video.js, and you can find more information about Video.js at videojs.com. It's quite an interesting player, HTML5 player, we really underestimate the amount of effort to customize the skin of that player, because we really thought it would be very easy, and it's not that easy. But great player, worked out quite well, integrated very well with Vimeo, and that's what is interesting in my, in my personal, space lately. Anything else, Joe, Scott? No, great. That's it. Now we are back on track. Every month you're gonna see us, and from next month on, you should be able to see us on Facebook Live as well. Yes, I'm excited to try us to put the recording process on Facebook Live, and let's see. Next one we should be there. That's it for now. I'll see you guys in a month. Thank you and bye.